There are days when it's 9 hours straight of different technologies back to back, trying to get into the weeds with one or another, problem that a partner is facing. Keeping my mental health up to snuff for me is just hanging out with the kids. They bring such wonder and love and energy. Just unplugging with them is huge for my mental stability personally, but also taking that me time, go fly fishing, go mountain biking, whatever it is, get outside, unplug from technology completely. That's super important to be able to unplug that way.
Goal!
So in my free time, some of the things I love the sport of soccer. I have teams that I follow in the German Bundesliga and then La Liga and the English Premier League. So on weekends, I love to watch professional soccer. Music for me is really powerful. I have a soundtrack in my life every day, it feels like. So when I'm not at work, I love to just enjoy music, watch sports and soccer in particular. Spend quality time with friends and family and conversation and pondering and wondering about life and the world around me.
Usually during our lunch break, we try to take our lunch break at the same time, and we go for a walk in the neighborhood almost every work day. And that's a way to get refreshed even in the middle of the day, even if sometimes we need to talk about work because something's bothering us or we're trying to find a solution to something. We're still outside and getting away from the computer.
Having a partner that works at the same organization can be challenging. My partner and myself, we have set hard line boundaries. We just make sure that when we're together, that we're actually together. That's so important for a healthy relationship, as well as a healthy work relationship. So even when we get together with fellow Paxaters outside of working hours, we limit those conversations about work to how are you, how's work going, how's the team, and really just dive into socializing about each other and lives outside of Pax8.
When I step away from work, I am out on the tennis court, friends. And when I'm not playing tennis, I'm reading about tennis. I think all of us have varying degrees of difficulty unplugging. But what I think we can focus on is really powering off devices occasionally and setting some healthy boundaries for ourselves with technology.
Outside of work, I like to go work on my old car. I've got the old car in the garage, and I am trying to resto mod it. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm the YouTube expert on car restoration, but when I go out in the garage, I'm able to kind of just turn off the rest of life.
So when I'm outside of work to decompress, I love to grill on my smoker. I'm a competitive barbecue pit master, but I'm very amateur. I like to garden, like to work out, like to go to sporting events. My kids are older, so they're coming and going, so my wife and I like to do things that we like to do. So a little bit getting outside, enjoy the weather, doing things outside, grilling, gardening. I love doing that.
I used to be in the music business, and I just love music. And I don't love music that my age group loves. I love dance music. I'm an EDM person, and I actually produce EDM music.
I'm on the move. Destiny awaits.
And I have my dance playlist, and I will have a dance party just to unwind, or I'll make some music, and my husband's like, I can hear that all the way up here.
More recently, I've got quite into poetry, not just, going and listening to poets and watching them online, but then also starting to write myself, which I hope any of my colleagues don't see this because they'll no doubt ask for whatever I've written. That's a nice way, I think, for me to kind of itch that kind of creative side where telling a bit of a story through a poetic format, I think helps release a little bit of creative side of me. And then there's some sporty side of things. I often put myself in silly scenarios where I'll sign up for half marathons and 10Ks, do no training, rock up on the day. That's just the stupid side of me. But yeah, a bit of a mixture of all those things help me detach.
What I like to do in my free time when I step away from work is spend time with my family. Me and my wife just had our first child, and the whole way that PAX 8 is set up allows me to be at home while I work. And on top of that, I'm also able to be around my daughter, which is fantastic. So I'd say a lot of my free time, I am with her.
I fly a lot of drones, and in my past, I've actually flown airplanes. Also love photography, some art. Fluidic art is the thing I'm into a lot. And then I also occasionally pick up a real interesting thing that I like to experiment with. And my latest thing has been now for about 6 months, maybe even longer, is slime molds. Slime molds are really interesting things. They can remember. You can give them a maze, and they'll come to the end of the maze, and then you can put them into another maze. They'll solve the maze much, much faster. You know, I think of work-life harmony is what I think of, rather than balance per se. You know, I think work-life balance is really just about prioritizing what you want to do with your life, looking at a holistic view. You have to prioritize it and optimize it because you have a limited resource, time. If you kind of, I'm going to work for a while, then I'm going to do this other thing, you might find not enough time for the other thing. If you think about it ahead of time, that's what I think it's really all about.